Last week, Dr. Kolawole Oladipo shared his expertise on the safety standards and health implications of genetically modified organisms or foods out there. This week, we bring you the concluding part. Please stay tuned. All right, let's talk about seed preservation now before we look at further regulation. The fears of farmers, the fears of many people out there is that we would not have food security, we would not have guarantee over farming. Who is farming for us? Who is farming for the future of Nigeria? As a scientist now, do you think we have the wherewithal to for abundance in the future?
I think I will talk about in two ways. I highlighted something like this at the beginning, that most of these agencies has what we call biobank, where all the seeds are being preserved, our native seeds that are being preserved. So the thing I cannot say for now is that how effective that biobank is, I cannot say. But I know that there are a lot of research institutes in the north, they are agricultural based, that are working day and night in preservation of our family heritage by storing all those things so that anytime we need them, we can go to the bank and bring them up and use them too. But like I said, the rate at which population is growing, we need something that can marry and match up with it. And now that many people don't want to go to the farm, how many people want to go to the farm? So the only people that are going to the farm, they should be able to produce enough food within a short period of time. If not, there will be hunger in the land and food will be expensive.
All right, let's look at patents right now. Many have argued that once you grow a GMO crop, after harvesting, you do not have the right to go into another season, let alone harvest. What's your take on this as a scientist? Have you seen cases like this?
I think we should understand how it works. You know, that is what we call F1, F2 generation. You get a seed, a GMO seed, you plant it. If you plant it and you harvest, you can't plant from the harvest to get the desired result again. You have to go back to buy a new seedling for it or a new seed so that you can replant again. And that is the way the science works, because something has been modified, and that is how. And we should not forget too that this is business. The person that invested in the research will also have return of investment. So the more you buy the seed, the more that you have income and harvest too. And we should not forget that environmental factors keep changing. So as the environmental factor is changing, they keep improving the seed. So you can't stick to a particular seed. But the truth about it is that their governments are doing their best to distribute seeds for farmers for free to use. So these are the things that we trying doing as a scientist. So farmers should join their group and able to access this seed as much as they can.
All right, Dr. Oladipo. Okay, let's go to let us go to how to ensure we have local funded GMO organizations. How do you think we can scale up on that? Because we still have so many things to go through in terms of farming. We have food fortification. We are still begging some large scale farmers to fortify foods with some vitamins to boost to stop malnutrition.
Yeah. When we look at Nigeria, one of the things that pain some of us is that we really invest in ourselves. We really invest in ourselves. We wait for various international organizations to invest. So I will use this as a call to a lot of foundations that are existing in Nigeria that they should try and identify research institutes, scientists, universities that are into different kind of research. It's not about GMO. There's most of the things we consume in Nigeria are not produced in Nigeria. They are all imported. So it's the pressure cut across all sectors in Nigeria. So we need people who can donate. We need people, philanthropists, who can support R&D in all aspects so that we can have the rights, we can have the patency. And that is where the money is. It's not about the importation of the seed. So we need more investment. We need more funding into R&D, and that is when our farmers can be happy. Then we can even tailor some of this research to the local needs, not a need that have been a need of a country that we are now importing the technology so that we can hold the technology by ourselves. So I feel that it's a call to action by everyone, and we should not leave it to the government because the government cannot do it alone. We need various individuals, eminent rich people in Nigeria, various organizations using their CSR to support R&D, research and development, and from there we can grow. From there we can move forward in terms of food security in Nigeria.
Earlier in your response, you mentioned the fact that many have been consuming the GMO foods out there in apples, rice, and some other staple foods. What should key players be doing, agencies, regulatory agencies be doing now to ensure that Nigeria is not just a dumping ground for these items?
Yeah, I think like I talked the other time that we have an agency called the National Biosafety and Management Agency, and it was established by the Nigerian Act, the NBMA Act in 2015, and their role is to oversee and regulate modern biotechnology. So, and the Act empowers them to grant permit for importation, exportation, transit, and commercial release of GMO. Then they should conduct risk assessment before approval. And that was why I was asking that everybody that was saying that it causes this, where is the document for the risk assessment that was conducted that they're able to show? And again, they should ensure safety of human health, animals, plants, and environment as a result of GMO. So these are an agency that has been established to do this, and they are doing that assiduously. They are doing that. So most of the time, if we need more information for that thing, they should approach this organization for details about any concern that the population have. Another thing about them is that in 2020, there is GMO labeling regulation according to our law, Nigerian law, that there is a mandate for clear labeling of genetically modified food and feed products in Nigeria. So the question is, it's not the government. The government is to enforce, but truly, if we're a good citizen of the country, if I'm selling a GMO food, why is it that I cannot label it? Should I have to wait until they use police or military security agencies to run after me before doing what is right. So as a citizen of the country, we should take the responsibilities that is expected of us. You understand? So, and they also do environmental impact assessment before approval. So unless you are an importer that is importing a GMO food that were not certified by this agency, that is when there is going to be a problem. Once you have gone through that agency and you go through NAFDAC and you have all necessary requirements, I want to believe that these two agencies would have really ensured that they do diligence, ensuring that what we have on market is good for consumption for every one of us.
All right, the Federal House of Representatives has also called for the suspension of GMOs certifications in Nigeria. Do you think this is the right step in the right direction?
Yeah, I think is another way to go about it. I'm in support as a scientist, and one thing I will just try to do is that most of the time, this agency should come out with lists on their website on certified foods that have gone through there and they've issued certificates for. And like I said, that once they come out, we can go to their website and see list of foods that are being certified by them. Then I think the population will have more trust in them. Look at what NAFDAC do. You have a particular number for a particular product, and when there is a problem, they will come out and tell you the name of the product, that the social product has problems. So if this agency can go in this direction, I think we can build a more trust within ourselves and ensure that if you are an importer, you are sure that, and if you import a GMO food that is not certified, there should be a sanction by the law, what is expected to be. So when there are those things are in place, we see that there will be a proper regulatory framework for us, and we're able to achieve what is best for us as a Nigerian citizen.
So let us look at farmers now. The concerns of farmers is that it is going to destroy the soil of their farming space and all that. How true is this? Because fine, this episode is all about unpacking all the uncertainties surrounding GMOs.
Yeah. You see, I was just smiling. All those ones, they are not scientific evidence based. They are not scientific evidence based.
But we have some farmers. We have some farmers that have granted interviews regarding this. How true is this? Is it just based on essay, myth, and misconceptions?
We work on evidence based. Anybody that wants to say that should try and tell us that this is the what I have before planting GMO seed. These are the parameters of my soil. After planting it again, these are the parameters of the soil. Then we can now see it and then analyze it. Then we can now say these are evidence-based and they are data-driven informed decision. And because you cannot talk in isolation, there are a lot of factors that could be responsible for a particular thing you are seeing on your farmland. So all those things have to be looked into holistically, not treating one single case in isolation. So until we have a data-driven evidence that we cannot conclude, and it's not something you do within a short period of time, it's something that we do for a long period of time. Looking at different seasons, like Nigeria, look at dry season, looking at wet season, and see how those things make significance in terms of science. So that's the only way I can, as a scientist, I don't base my judgment on hearsay. I base my judgment on data, evidence, data that we can speak to.
All right, your final words as we wrap up now. Is there anything you would like to tell members of the public regarding these items, the GMO or the GMF?
Yeah, what I would say is that Nigeria, we need a stronger public education. We need a stronger public education, and we need a transparent enforcement. Transparent enforcement, that if you are importing, the law enforcement agency, they are transparent in the way the thing is done. And also, there is need for support for local GMO research. Yeah, copy GMO developed by young scientists rather than foreign companies. So we need the one that locally made that can really build trust in our people. You know, as a scientist, if it was done in my lab and everybody can see them, walk up to you, see everything, so that kind of trust will increase more than foreign-based food or seed imported into the country for us to use. So I think these are my final words for Nigerians.
All right, and to a layman out there doubting GMO, what do you have to tell them?
I will tell them that they should not doubt it. So there are benefits and they should look hard for labeling and make their choice. It's not by force that I use GMO, it's by choice.
All right, it is not by force to eat GMO, it is by choice. Public enlightenment, transparency in enforcement, as well as funding of all these research and projects, local funding is the way to go. Dr. Kolawole Oladipo, thank you so much for your time and expertise on the pros and cons of genetically modified organisms as well as foods in Nigeria.
Thank you so much. I appreciate bringing me on board for this discussion.
I have been speaking with Dr. Kolawole Oladipo, an associate professor of infectious diseases, molecular virology, and genomics with the Department of Microbiology, Adeleke University. He is also the founder of Helix Biogen Institute in Ogbomosho. Thank you so much for your time. I hope we've been able to unpack some uncertainties about genetically modified organism or foods out there. Sound Health continues with trending health report from around the world. Please stay tuned. The program is still Sound Health on Lagos Television. I hope we've been able to address some of your concerns about genetically modified organism foods, also known as GMO or GMF. Consuming GMO is a choice and not by force. I hope you've been enlightened on this episode. For comments and inquiries, or you have topics you'd like us to treat, please send SMS to 0035826603 or follow us on social media at Lagos Television #Sound Health. A sound health is a sound mind. Make healthy living your choice.